Now when it comes to shooting dice, I've had my share, y'all.
Got to know Kfrogtv, man. Lil Junior, man. Live. Shout out to see how you feel me.
Now we rocking, nigga. Let's get this dice game on the road, my nigga.
Hold up, man. What you call? What's up? 4 lakhs.
Florida City, baby.
What's up? What's up? We got 4 lakhs on this.
Nah. Go ahead. Tighten
4
down.
lakhs. 4 lakhs. Man, tighten down.
Yeah.
Okay. I got 2 more than 9.
What's up? Let's see. I put 3 out there.
3-2, nigga. Don't be nothing.
7-3, nigga. 7-3, nigga.
What's up, nigga?
Okay, 11. There we go. Tighten down.
I got 10. I got 10 on my dog, and he gon' hit. I got 10.
So where the 10 at? Where the 10 at? Big boy shit.
Right there.
Big boy shit.
Man, I got my lighter for 20 lakhs.
Man, go ahead. It's on you.
All right.
Big shit.
Kfrogtv. Shout out to see how you already know. Kfrog.
You already know, baby. Bang in
Oh,
there.
yeah. We play with 9s over here, nigga.
Fuck all where we come from. I got 5 on my 5, man.
Go ahead, nigga. That's how we rock.
Okay, that's 11.
My turn.
Yeah, what you got on
I
there?
got 5, man.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
5, man. Big 7. Big 7 11.
I like you not to roll 7 to 3.
Hey, this shit right. No, that's your money right there. Straight up.
Haha, Dom the best. Finna be this way till I EOS. Take it how you want, nigga. Yeah, I'm a pro. Fuck around and bust your lot while you're at Vizzo. I hate to be this way, but I live for the moment. Waking up every day, show me an opponent. Shanks on deck, hitting bitch with locks. So much pool, I can even start you from the box. You don't wanna pay rent, got me bent. Got lax on deck, your money was well spent. Vultures on the prowl, so don't try testing. Step 2 comes violent, first steps finessing. You a hold down man, suitcase this. My cell phone, I'm a charger, don't walk with a limp. Get it knocked off or missing, you gon' get it. Next time I see you ass, you gon' leave airlifted. Everybody, you already know, man. Kfrogtv back in the building. Y'all go ahead and do me that solid favor. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe button. And make sure you hit that notification bell so you can see it first. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking some more real spill with y'all. And I'm going to let y'all know how it was when I was shooting dice inside of prison. Okay? I'm going to let y'all know how we made the dice. I'm going to let y'all know how I was able to get dice. And the reason that we, played with the dice. You feel me? Now, as y'all seen in the intro, I got real footage from when I was in there actually shooting dice. All right, when it comes to shit like that, you do anything just to kill some time. Whether you're betting cigarettes like we was doing, one dude betted his lighter, which was a big lighter. I pulled out my knife, put my knife on the table. You know what I'm saying? Well, the floor in the video, but it all depends on. It's just the hype. You get what I'm saying? To outdo the person you were going against. Y'all know how it is. People play dice all the time. Now, when I was in prison, at first, we would make dice, and it's different when you make them in the county jail. I can't speak for everywhere, but down here when we made dice in my juvenile program and in the county jail, it was actually made out of toilet paper. And you would literally get some toilet paper, like a ball. You would ball up the toilet paper, get it real soaking wet so you can make a ball, and then you eventually want to form it to where it's a square. You see what I'm saying? And you got to make it perfect now. They're going to feel real, like, stiff. Basically going to be like stiff tissue, okay, after the water dries, after you get a lot of the water out, but you want to form them to where they dry, and they got to be even, so that way when you roll them shits don't make no noise though, because they're stiff. But when you roll them, you want to make sure that it's fair, that it will land on the side evenly. You get what I'm saying? You don't want it to be bulky or no wobble in the roll. You feel me? And then you just get you a pen and you just put your little dots on there. That's how we did it in the juvenile program, and then in the county. Except for when they'd have Monopoly or something like that, people would get it and only played with them in Monopoly. People didn't actually physically, take them, But once I got to prison, people would make dice. And the way you do those is with the roll-on deodorants that they give you, the ball that is at the inside of the roll-on that you rub on your armpits, that ball right there, people literally would grind it down. It's like shaving it, sanding it. And make it from a ball. They'll flatten one side, then do the other side, until they make actual dice. You see what I'm saying? Then you put your holes in it, and then you color the inside of the holes. You can use a tattoo gun to make the holes, or you could just get something real sharp and just, just scrape away till you drill the hole in it. Make dice. But, people weren't making them that often, because it's not everybody plays dice. Not everybody's playing 7 or 11 or CeeLo or whatever it is. People ain't really into the dice as much, because you have cards. You could play poker, you could play spades, you could play tunk, you could play blackjack, you could play palace. You see what I'm saying? You could play bloody hearts. You can even play pinochle if you want to play pinochle. For those that don't know what that is, look that game up. You feel me? And when it comes to the rolling dice shit, that's for more people who grew up playing dice. You feel me? And you hope to hit whatever it is you're gonna call and shit. Now, I wanted to do this video because the shit I got into, what I went to get the dice, basically. I won't say I got into anything, but I will say, I took the risk. And I came across some dice, all right? And I'm gonna tell y'all how I did that. At this time, I was at Charlotte, CI, down here in the state of Florida. And they have a dorm that's called Life Path, all right? Life Path is for people who have life sentences that, custody isn't really that high. They can participate in certain programs and certain entry programs that other inmates on the compound can't do. Now, Life Path is off limits for other inmates. You see what I'm saying? And I mean literally off limits. Like, I had a bunkie, that literally was a lifer, and he was getting transferred from my dorm to the Life Path dorm. So, I helped him pack his shit, I said, I got you, old school, helped him carry his shit over there to the Life Path dorm. And then as soon as I got by the glass outside of the building, they said on the intercom, which one of y'all is the one moving in here? And I had his mat, his bags, and all this shit. And then old school put his hand up. And then she was like, all right, you put that stuff down right there at the door. Walk away. Have a nice day. Go back to your dorm. Like, they wouldn't even let me carry his property inside there. I wasn't even allowed to enter the building. That's how it was, you feel me, for Life Path. Well, luckily for me, I tried it like 3-4 times. That shit wasn't happening. And it wasn't because my mind was set on doing anything. I just wanted to get into Life Path to see what it looks like. I done been everywhere on the compound, all the way from the damn open bay, 2-man cells, to every dorm around the whole compound. I've been to chapel, I've been to medical, I've been to damn classification, I've been to the chow hall, I've been to the rec yard, I've been to the school building. I've been everywhere you can possibly go, except for Life Path. Okay, so I was anxious to try to get in there. Anytime they would be moving someone that was a lifer that was going to one of them programs, I'd always try to be the first one to grab his shit and carry him to see if I can hopefully weasel my way in there. Well, long story short, I won't put too much out there, but I had a female officer on my line that I was fucking with. And luckily for me, on this particular day, when I carried this dude's shit over there, I went over there and she was the one on the inside of the thing. She popped the door. As soon as she popped the door, she went to blushing and shit. I went all up to the thing. I said, oh yeah, he moving over here. I gotta play it off because of the cameras, you feel me? But anyways, I'd say, yeah, I'm moving his shit. So she's like, all right, he's going to that cell, I'm like, okay. Now when I walk in Life Path, it was so pretty in there, all right? Totally different than how it looks on the compound. Like, for instance, for our cells and shit are all ran down, rusty, paint ripped off, hanging, shit nasty. You might see cockroaches, spiders and shit everywhere. Life Path, when you're inside the building, everything is painted, okay? And the Life Path dorm at Charlotte was a butterfly building, which means it's got the officer booth in the middle, and then it's got a quad that way, quad that way, quad that way, quad that way, so it looks kind of like a butterfly. You see what I'm saying? And I'm talking about, it was so nice and pretty painted in there that it looked like the jungle. Okay, the theme was the jungle. So when you go in there and you look, all the walls were covered with paintings with lions, tigers, cheetahs, elephants, monkeys, and it went all across their doors. Like, their cell doors went across their cell doors, all up top, above their shit. It was so nice. It kind of looked like a visitation park. If anyone's ever went and visited like a prison and visited somebody in prison, in the VP, which is the visitation park, they usually have some type of scenery. Whether it's the kids scenery, which might be Spider-Man, might have Dumbo the elephant, or you might have Toy Story, whatever they decide to have the theme that's painted on that wall, that's meant for when you go to take the pictures. When people take pictures with their kids, they go and stand in front of that wall that has all that shit on there. Well, this whole dorm was like that. And I'm talking about 4 quads. 4 quads was nicely painted. You know what I'm saying? They had like, it just felt so different, real clean. You feel me? And they had that shit in there to where, with your headphones, to where like you put the TV on the channel and then you match it to your whatever on your FM radio, you put it on the whatever station it tells you to, so you can hear it from your radio. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta be standing there like this, staring at the TV up close, hoping everyone's quiet enough so you can hear what's going on. You feel me? Like, it was just so different. So what happened with me was, while I was carrying this person's shit in there, you know, there was a table, and the table had Monopoly on it. All right, they were playing Monopoly. I walked right by. No one was sitting at the table at the moment. That shit just was sitting there. I walked right by as I was bringing the dude in there his shit. Seen the dice. Bitches was right on the edge of the table. Walked right by, let me get them. Got these 2 red dice. Feel me? Right there. I don't know why I did it, but I did. So I took the red dice. Next thing you know, made it out perfectly fine. Boom, boom, back to my dorm. Told them, what's up, y'all boys? Y'all put y'all bread up. Time to put y'all money up. Now let's get it. All that shit talking, y'all be talking, let's get it, let's get it. So I amped everybody up to play dice, okay? And I was literally the only one that had real dice, all right? And it was crazy because they took that shit serious. Like, it was so severe, okay? And what they did is, they shook down the whole compound one time, looking for the dice, you feel me? And it started getting crazy because we're like, okay, we made it through the shakedown, ain't nothing to really worry about. And what happened with me is how I was able to, you know, hide the dice is I was in an open bay at the time. And we had bunk beds, you know, top bunk, bottom bunk. Well, the top bunk, the bars on the bunk in one of the quads, the bars are supposed to go up and come across like that. They didn't. Them shits went up and it was straight up like this. So it was hollow all the way down until it sat on top of the bottom bunk's bars. So all I did was drop them shits down in the bunk. Whoop. That's it. And me and a couple people had to lift up the bunk, you know what I'm saying? And when we lifted up one side of the bunk, the poles came up off of the bottom bunk's poles and the dice fell right out. You feel me? That's how I ended up making it through the shakedown with those. You feel me? Now, when I say this shit got serious, I mean to the point to where they put memos up everywhere, okay? Y'all may have heard of me mention this shit before in little bits of my videos, but they put memos up at all the canteen windows. They put memos up on the rec yard. There's like a little board out there that they tack shit up, and it was like up there, and they put them there. Go inside medical, they got it there, and it kept saying, caution, if you get caught with the dice that are missing from, you know, from LifePath, it said mandatory disciplinary report, mandatory confinement time, and all this different shit. So every time we would stand in line, and that shit would be right there, everybody on my dorm that knew I had them would be like, look, fraud boy, they're still looking for him, they're still looking for him. You know what I'm saying? And we would look at that shit and just laugh. But I didn't care, you know what I'm saying? Fuck it, I'm in prison, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna experience it as much as possible. I've been to confinement before, this shit ain't the end of the world. You know what I'm saying? Regardless if I'm out here on the pound or I'm back there, I'm still doing the same amount of time. My bid ain't over with regardless, you see what I'm saying? So it is what it is. And it came to the point to where, you know, I had them dice for a while. I'm talking about probably like 2.5 months. I had the dice, and everybody used to bet, gamble with them. People used to come up to me, and they would literally, because they were like real dice. They weren't the white ones like these right here. You see, these are just regular standard dice. They weren't these. They were the red ones, not the dark red ones. They were like the clear looking red ones. You feel me? With the white polka dots. But anything that is street value or like something that's from the streets, you know, is high commodity in there. You know what I'm saying? It costs money. People would come up to me and give me $5 in canteen just to borrow my dice. I literally got a hustle out of having those dice. I couldn't believe it. Like, I didn't know, you know. I said, all right, bitch, you know what I'm saying? Shoot me a couple dollars and you could borrow them. You know, people would want to take them and go to another dorm. If they wanted to take them to go to another dorm, I need 7. Straight up. And then boom, they would give it to me faithfully just to go over there and have fun with them and bring them back. And then if they were to lose them, everybody in my dorm that I used to, you know, play dice with and shit like that, or other people who would rent them from me and other people who like to play dice would step up and be like, oh, hell nah, you know what I'm saying, bitch, where the dice at? Where the dice at? Like if a bitch came up to me and was like, hey, Frog, what's up, bro? Let me rent the dice from you. I'd be like, oh, what's his name got him? He said he brought him over there to G dorm for a little bit. For real? I'd be like, yeah. He'd be like, all right. I say he's supposed to bring him back today. Next thing you know, boom, he go find out. What's up, bro? Where them dice at, bro? I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying? Because it was the one set of dice that leaked out of LifePath. You get what I'm saying? And for the longest, you know, LifePath, they're the only dorm that don't really get shook down like that during a shakedown. When they do a massive shakedown and they hit the compound and they flip shit and they tear shit up, you know, and they really rip through your property, you know, they'll go to LifePath a lot of times they'll walk right by that dorm. You know, because they're lifers. They respect them because those are the good lifers. They're not the ones that are out here hanging out with us getting into shit. You feel me? So they'll either pass their dorm or they'll go in there and they'll be in there for 10 minutes and they'll come right back out. They'll be inside our dorm for an hour and a half, 2 hours. Got to put us all on the rec yard, have us out there baking in the sun while they're in there flipping our shit. Massive destruction, tearing things up like demolition. You see what I'm saying? So due to the dice missing, that made LifePath get shook down a couple times. You feel me? Because they kept thinking that it was in-house because no other inmates are allowed to have access in here. You see what I'm saying? But that female officer, boy, she sent me a text message, right, on my phone because I used to talk to her like behind the scenes and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like she'd be at home with her husband and her family and shit, and then she'd be texting me and shit on my phone. Like she knew I didn't answer. Okay, you don't want to answer? Wait till I come to work. Shit like that. She would threaten me. Well, she was like, oh, it's kind of funny how ever since that day I seen you in my dorm, then dice came up missing. So I put laugh faces and shit, was like, ha ha ha, what you talking about? And then she was like, oh, I ain't no dummy. I know how it is. Da, da, da. I said, my name Bennett and I ain't in it. You feel me? So she knew what time it was, but she didn't say nothing. You feel me? Now, one time she brought me leftovers from her house in a container, some steak and broccoli and shit, and she tried to get me to you gotta just give the dice back. The boys over there are going crazy over them in my dorm. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. You feel me? So anyway, she tried to bribe me one time. But so I had the dice for so long, you know, betting cigarettes, all types of shit. I actually won a whole case of soups one time, a whole case, whole 24 pack of soups off of one dice game. Literally, because people try to put their money down and try to just hit real quick and leave. That shit ain't work. That boy put that money in, he threw a whole bunch in there, he thought he was finna just win real quick and leave. He won a little bit, so I was in the hole. So I threw more on there, made a match me. So it was a case of soup against a case of soup. I won, boom, let me get that. All because I took the risk after already losing. I decided, he already took half the case. I might as well throw it, make it a whole case. Now I call a whole case. You feel me? And I ended up hitting and I won. Let me get that. Off of one dice game. You feel me? But when they did this other shakedown later on, I got snatched up and went to confinement. I was put in confinement under investigation, right? Everybody in my dorm, you know, had different ideas of why I went to confinement. You know, a couple of them thought, damn, he got caught with them dice, dog, them dice. I know it's the dice. They caught the dice. And in my mind, while they got me in handcuffs inside of the medical building, because you got to do a pre-physical. They got to bring you in and they check your weight, your blood, all this different shit they'll do to you when you first come to confinement. So when they do it to you in a couple more weeks or a couple months down the line, they can see if you lost weight and, you know, they can keep up with you physically. So as I'm sitting there in handcuffs, I'm like, what? I'm going under investigation. They're like, yeah. I'm like, what the fuck? So in my mind, I'm like, damn, dog, I didn't even take the dice out of my locker. You feel me? So I'm thinking that's what I'm going to confinement for. But then in my mind, I'm like, there's no way it could be under investigation because that would have just been a DR. You feel me? Under investigation is like if someone got wet up and they feel like you had parts in it or you sent the hit. You know what I'm saying? Or if they know you got cell phones but they can't find them, so they decide to grab and put you under investigation. If you have a staff relationship, like with a female officer or even a male officer, if you're just cool with them, they'll feel like, you know, you got him bringing in dope or phones or whatever it may be. They'll put you under investigation, little shit like that. So I'm thinking, like, man, what am I going under investigation for? You know what I'm saying? Like, it can't be the dice. They actually took the dice, and when they took the dice out of my locker and all that shit, I'm in confinement already. So I'm like, oh, it is what it is. I'm going to get hit with a 60-day DR back here for the dice because of how much craziness they've been going through over this shit. You feel me? I'm like, now I'm under investigation just to keep me back here. They're going to hit me with that 60-day DR. You feel me? That's what my mind was focused on, right? Well, the person who ended up taking the dice, the officer, took the dice, boom. Some inmate seen the officer had her in her hand. You know, so I'm like, you know, someone sent me a kite. They were like, frog, bitch, they found your dice. Da. Long story short, it was the female officer that I talked to. She took the dice. She brought it back to her dorm. She didn't even give me no write-up for it. She didn't even, none of that, no DR, no nothing. She was the one that flipped my shit. I went under investigation because the white shirt, which was the captain, put me under investigation over some shit with YouTube. You feel me? And all it was is I had pictures in my locker screenshot pictures inside my photo album of my music on YouTube. You see what I'm saying? And they seen that, said, oh, you're running a YouTube channel, and put me under investigation. You feel me? Now, while I'm back there, there's a lot of beef going on in my dorm. I keep seeing, like, the police run across the compound and shit throughout these days. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what the fuck's going on? Bitch, everybody gets along with everybody in my dorm. Come to find out, 2 of my dogs thought these other dudes set me up with a knife because I was under investigation. People were thinking that, oh, maybe he had a knife on his bunk. Someone's like, oh, I think he put that knife over there and this and that. So a fight broke out and I get out of the box and all this different shit. And when I get put back in the same dorm, I go holler at everybody. I'm like, what's up with y'all boys? I find out that these 2 don't get along with these 3. These 3 jumped one of them, all because I went to confinement under investigation. I'm like, bitch, all y'all are dumb. All y'all dumb as fuck because I didn't go up for no banger. No one put a knife on my bunk, set me up and got me out of the dorm or nothing like that. So once I told them that, they were all like, for real? Like what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, I just like deaded a whole beef between these groups and shit. I mean, they still had a little animosity and tension and shit because, like I said, a couple of them jumped someone also. But it all started because they thought they set me up with the banger. You feel what I'm saying? And I went to confinement. But no, I went under investigation. And that female officer spared me. You feel me? Due to the dice. You know what I'm saying? If it would have been any other officer, they would have hit me with 60. They would have kept me under investigation for like 45 days. And then they would have hit me with that damn dice DR. And they would have gave me 60 back there. That's what they would have did. But since it was her, you know what I'm saying, I got spared. You feel me? But it was still a risk. It was a close call on my end. But I didn't care. I wasn't thinking about it at the time. At my time when I was back there, I was like, bitch, it is what it is. But someone told me, bitch, they found the dice. So I'm thinking like, damn, I'm under investigation and that. You feel me? But I didn't get the DR like I said. I ended up getting back on the compound. And when I got back on the compound, the female officer, she was like extra sweet. You know what I'm saying? Like literally, like while I was in confinement, I got my phone sent back there and I talked to her every single night. Every single night I talked to her until she was gonna go to sleep with her husband. Straight up, I taught her to sleep. Right while she's laying next to her husband. I'll be like, where your hubby at? She'll be like, oh, he's right here, he's sleeping. I'll be like, okay. Make her, you know, play with herself and all that good shit too, you feel me? But that was a close call, all behind some dice, y'all. So I just wanted to share that with y'all and let y'all know. But I want y'all to drop in the comment section, man. For any of y'all that like to, you know, gamble inside of prison or gamble, period, on the streets, gamble inside of programs or whatever it is. If you was in prison, would you be playing dice if you could? I want y'all to drop that in the comment section. Let me know. Because me personally, I don't like to gamble, to be honest with you. Because that's one thing you're supposed to stay away from when you're in prison. You feel me? They say the 3 G's, but I say the 4 G's. You feel me? They say the gangs, the gambling, and the guards, and the gays. You feel me? That's how I look at it. All the G's. You feel me? Like that. But, you know, sometimes when you just want to have fun, shit, it's time to play dice. But in my mind, you know, I didn't really even have to play dice because I own the dice. You know, so like if I really just wanted to make the money, I could have just not got involved and charged them every time they rented them from me. You know what I'm saying? But I wanted to have fun also. So I would start the dice game. Instead of making money right then and there, I would start, come on, boy, y'all get y'all shit, let's get it. All that shit you was talking, I don't want to hear it. We ain't waiting till this weekend's football game. We ain't waiting till this football game this weekend. Well, I'm going to take your money right now. You're going to be broke today. You know, and then me, I had so much money in there. I had more than enough than I needed. Had enough to give away if I needed to. You feel me? That I was just, bitch, I'm trying to do something to get my mind off this time. I'm trying to hang out and have fun. You feel me? I'm trying to do whatever I'm not allowed to do. Whatever they are against is what I'm into. I'm trying to do my time my way. You feel me? And that's what I did. All over some dice. But alright, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one on up. I appreciate y'all watching. Y'all already know that I say that shit every time, and I truly mean it. Y'all can also catch me on KFROG Gaming. I'll be over there streaming every night. If y'all want to come hang out, vibe, even if you don't game, we'll just be over there going live. I'm going to eventually do a live Q&A over here. I'm thinking about doing one maybe once a week or something like that, because a lot of people be asking me to do Q&As over here. I'll hang out with y'all and shit on live and shit. But until then, you know, I'm finna just keep dropping these videos, giving y'all that real spill, letting y'all know what it's truly like in prison. Still the only one that's got footage. Still the only one that's got footage of their self, their big, their own footage. You understand? And that's what separates me from all the people that just talk. You feel me? You could be anything you want to be online. And at the end of the day, I could be whatever someone wants to call me, but no one will ever take it from me how I was in prison and what I got on film. You feel me? But anyways, y'all, I appreciate y'all watching. Like I said, I'm gonna wrap this one on up. Y'all make sure y'all keep them squares, rats, clowns, chomos, pedos, heavy gunners, lying ass YouTubers, all them out your circle. And until next time, this is Frog.